Millions of views, thousands of videos, thousands and thousands of fans. Coming to you from Miamisburg, Ohio. The best podcast in the world according to Daniel J. Robinson. This is the Daniel J. Robinson Show. Hello everyone, my name is Daniel J. Robinson and welcome to the Daniel J. Robinson Show. This is episode 2. Today is, as of me recording this, it is September 21st, 2019. It is 9:20 p.m. Eastern Time. And as you may notice,
Well, what, Daniel? This is going up on Sunday. What happened?
Chill. I know. I'm unprofessional. I'm unprepared. It's only episode 2. I'm still
a learner in the podcast making.
I don't know what I'm saying. But anyways, so what happened was for episode 2, I planned to have my good old pal Nolan Rich, aka Popcorn Weasel. You can see the link to his channel on the side of my main YouTube page under the my list of friends that are epic, or people that are epic. I mean, you can, if you just go to the homepage of my YouTube channel, you'll see that that list on the right. You'll see Popcorn Weasel there. That's his channel name. But anyways, I was gonna have him on the podcast for episode 2, and so today's Saturday, and we planned to record on Friday evening. And I called him. Here's what happened. So for like a week now, this whole week I've been saying, hey, Friday 9 p.m. Are you gonna be available to record during that time? He's like, yep. We can do that. I got his number. We became friends on Discord and all that good stuff. I think we already were or whatever. But so I called him last night, Friday evening on the 20th,
And there was no response.
So here's what happened. Okay, let me go on Discord right now. So Daniel J. Robinson posted yesterday at 9:21 p.m. Oh, well, that's exactly a day ago, and it's 9:21, September 21st. Wow, 9:21, 9:21. Oh, now it's not 9:22. That's the time just changed. Anyways, oh goodness, this is probably confusing right now. But I said, my boy, I'm a bit late. Sorry are about what? I messed up. So here's what happened. Yesterday, we were going to record at 9 p.m. I woke up from a nap and it was like 9:20 and I'm like, oh, frick. I forgot. Well, I didn't forget. I just fell asleep. And I'm like, I could still do the podcast though. It's not too late. And so I messaged him, my boy with the I. I'm a bit late. Sorry are about. I don't know what that means. I messed up. I think I meant to say sorry about that. I don't know how sorry are about came to be. And then I said, are you ready for this? ? And then I called him 4 minutes later. Sorry, I just jumped right into this podcast today. So sorry if I'm like all over the place right now. So I called him and he didn't respond. I said, ... oof. And then I called him again 23 minutes after that at 9:48 p.m. And he still didn't respond. And then I said, this is not an epic gamer moment. And I just gave up then. And then today, I called him about 12 minutes ago. He didn't respond, and I was like, if he's not going to respond, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll just do the podcast myself for this week. And well, that's what I'm going to be doing. It's not the worst week for this to be happening because I got plenty of content. I got plenty of things to talk about. So there you go. That is why he is not on here, because he just did not respond. When I get to school on Monday, I'm going to be like, Nolan. I'm going to be like, Nolan Rich. I'm going to be like, why? Why didn't you answer the call? This is a professional podcast, and you didn't respond. Oh. Ugh. It's all right. But here's the thing, if he does call during like this podcast, I'll have him on. I'll be like, whatever, let's just make this extra long episode. I don't know what I'll do if he calls during this podcast. I kind of hope he doesn't because I've already started, so I don't want to get into that and have to deal with all that. So anyways, that's why this week I'm doing the podcast by myself. I didn't make any like tweets about it or make any posts or videos or whatever saying, oh, he's planning to be on the podcast this Friday or this weekend, because I don't even know when I'm going to upload these now. I know it's going to be on Saturday. It's just this time was an exception because of technical difficulties. Just kidding, not technical difficulties. It's just because he just decided to not show up. I'm like, oh, great. Because here's the thing. I could have recorded the podcast by myself last night, but I don't know. I felt like I was more in the mood to record it with someone else instead of just myself. And I also hadn't like written stuff down for my list, and it became like 9:45 by that point. That I had given up, and I'm like, well, I'll just record tomorrow, and then whatever. And so that's what happened. So about the first episode. So the first episode is up. Everyone that watched it has seemed to like it so far. It was so I guess I'm gonna get into a little bit into what it was like in post-production or whatever I guess you can call it. And I'm not gonna lie, it was really stressful for some reason. Like I had to like find like a background. I had to make the logo. Like I hadn't even made that logo until after I recorded the podcast. I had to. I recorded the intro first. I made the intro. It was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed that, and I think it's kind of stupid, but it's funny, so it kind of works. But anyways, it was just so stressful trying to find all the pictures online. For some reason, on Google right now, you can't look up an exact like custom like length and width image or whatever. Like like when you go to the tools section on Google Images and like, okay, let's look up an image as exactly 1920 x 1080p or not P, but just 1080. But they don't have that. They don't have that. It just says, oh, here's a small, medium, or large images. I'm like, I want exactly 1920 x 1080 because that's what fits onto my screen, and that's what the average is these days. But no, I don't. No, of course not. I don't know what Google's doing right now. It's a really stupid thing. I have no clue. No one benefits from this. This is only a disadvantage for everyone. To not have like a custom like length and width to put in when you're looking up an image. Like I heard people commenting about it, not like on a video, but I looked it up myself. I'm like, well, where is the the custom image thing on Google Images? And I heard people talking about it. They're like, I work for a company and we use images a lot, but I can't find the exact dimensions. That's what they're called, the correct dimensions. And I'm like, what the heck? And they're like, what the heck, Google? When is this coming back? It's just like, why? It's just like so unnecessary. It's like there's already enough problems. Like, why does that have to be one? I saw like a not like a theory, but it was like, I mean, I guess it's a theory, but I don't know, like some sort of like hypothesis. There's just like, oh, Google, they're just testing to see what the response is to taking away this feature. That's retarded. That is so retarded. Either, you don't have to use the feature. It ain't like it's right there, and being annoying, being a nuisance to people that don't use that tool. It's only a negative to everyone. And here, you know what? And if they are doing that, here's the response. Bring the freaking custom image, dimension thing back so I can look up the right dimensions for images I want to use. Ugh. It's like, why? Why? And then, anyways, back to the post-production of episode 1. Well, actually, I just got a little off topic. But, I mean, I was talking about one thing, that was, like, branched off, the main thing I'm talking about right now. But anyways, finding all the images, I had to, like, zoom in. I'm like, what? I can't just have an image just pulled up. I have to, like, do that thing where, like, an image is, like, slowly zooming in or zooming out, as you're looking at it. So it's not as boring to look at while watching a podcast if you decide to do that. But, so that was stressful. It was mostly, making, oh my gosh, I'm getting PTSD from this. Finding the right stuff for the logo is just so annoying. Having the green screen removed and all that. Getting the logo to be the right size on the video. Finding the background, downloading that. Having the correct sound, correct volume for when I'm talking. It's just like, it was. it was really stressful because I was not prepared for it to be that difficult, because podcasts, especially during recording, they seem very, very easy. But then, I don't know, maybe they are. I don't know, because some people, they'll like talk into the microphone or whatever, but then they'll just have like a GIF or image that was already made in the past, and they'll use the same one each week so that they don't have to worry about finding all tons of images and all that like I do. But here's the thing, I don't have like a drawing or something interesting to look at, while, for the whole time, because what I do right now, I mean, I just have my logo up, as you can see right now probably, and I have like a background, just like, something high quality of like a city skyline or something, like the beach, whatever, and it's like moving. It could be like CGI or whatever, I'm not quite sure. It probably is for some of them. But yeah, it's just like that's what I have right now, because I don't have like something exactly of my own, except for the logo that's in the middle, which I used to make from a online font maker or whatever. But anyways, sorry if I sound like I sound like I'm mumbling and all that. I tend to do that a lot. But yeah, I managed to did I upload it in time? Did I? Well, let me check. I'm gonna go into my YouTube channel right now. I'm gonna see when exactly I posted the first episode of the podcast, just to see if I uploaded it in time. I think I did. I do think I did. But let me check. Hold on, go to Creator Studio Classic, because I don't want the new one. Good gosh, I hate having to click on that every single time. But let me see here. Okay, loading. Okay, episode 1. It says, okay, so September 14th, 2019, 7:33 p.m. So it was scheduled to go out at 7:30. It didn't come out. I didn't even upload it until 7:33. So that was already a few minutes past. So I scheduled it for 9 p.m. of September 14th, and that's when it came out. Because for that next hour and a half, I worked on making the thumbnail and the and just the title description, the tags, and all that. I mean, I could have probably gotten it done earlier than 9 p.m., but whatever. So I actually didn't even get the first episode up in time either. Oh boy. So that's interesting. Not really. Whatever. Anyway, so I just got reminded of something when I went to my YouTube channel. This freaking subscriber count thing, whatever they're doing right now, I hate it. I hate it so much. Because here's the thing, my YouTube channel is just constantly on 22,300 subscribers. It stayed right there, and it has not changed. Because now YouTube, they're doing something where it's like, your subscriber count, it's not going to show the exact amount. Like if you have like 1.5 million subscribers, like if you have 1,556,042 subscribers or whatever, it's just going to say 1.5 mil. And you'll have no clue how many you actually have, unless it changes to 1.6 million or something. I think that's what it is right now. And that's retarded. That's retarded. Why is it like that? No one benefits from it looking like that. It's only a nuisance, just like with the Google stupid custom images thing that, feature that's been taken away. Why? Why is it like that? And I can't even go on my Social Blade. I can't even go into my Social Blade and see the real number because they messed something up on that as well. It's stupid. Like when I go to my Social Blade, it says 22.3K. Why can't I have the full number? Why? It has no problem showing the views, 16,718,248. Has no problem showing that big old number, but 22,300 and what would it be now? 75 or whatever? What? Why? I don't get it. What's the benefit? There's some executive decisions, and I'm writing an essay about it in my college class right now, my CCP class, College Credit Plus, at my high school. But anyways, I'm writing about some of the executive decisions that YouTube makes, and there's some that they make. It's just like, okay, I can kind of understand why people are upset about it, but at the same time, I can understand why YouTube would do this. There's no reason to do that to subscriber numbers. I don't know why they're doing that. Like, why? Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm not actually that mad, but it's just like, come on, man. Why has it gotta be like that? But anyways, I just clicked out Google. Actually, I don't know if I want it up right now. But so yeah, that was that with the whole YouTube subscriber thing. With the post production, finally, it was a bit stressful, but I got it up, and hopefully the second time, since I don't have to worry about making my logo, especially, it should be much easier this time, and a lot less rage-inducing. Because honestly, it was rage-inducing sometimes. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually record my podcast every Thursday night, and then work on half of it on like Friday or something, and then so Saturday I don't have to worry about editing the whole thing in one day, from like the afternoon or whatever, and get it up before 7:30 p.m. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do, and having to record it one extra day before it goes out. I mean, that's not a problem. That's completely fine. But anyways, how far am I into this podcast already? I'm 15 minutes, and I am still on the introduction. Okay. Yeah, I also learned that, and I actually talked about this at the end of the last podcast, episode 1. I'm like, oh wow, I wasn't quite sure if I would have enough stuff to talk about, but it turns out I had too much. Well, I mean, actually, you can never really have too much because, it's a good thing because there's some things I can just move on into the next week. And that's what I did. I took some of the stuff I have on my list for episode 1, and I just took that and, clicked and dragged it. Well, not really because it's on paper, but, I clicked and dragged it on paper from one paper to the other, and put it on here for episode 2. Anyways, this next thing I'm going to talk about, which is Daft Punk. Now, you might be like, Daniel, why are you talking about the epic technical band Daft Punk? Anyways, so the reason why I have it on there is because I just want to talk about it. That's how this podcast kind of works. I had Daft Punk on episode 1. I wanted to talk about it a little bit, but I never got to it. So it's like, hey, let's put it on episode 2, and here we go. So the reason why I'm bringing Daft Punk up is Daft Punk. I'm sorry if I've been saying it wrong a little bit. The reason why I'm bringing it up is because lately I have been jamming to their music, especially from the stuff from the 90s and early 2000s. It is fire. They're bangers. The 3 I've been listening to the most are One More Time, Harder, Faster, Better, Stronger. What's it called? Daft Punk. Better. Is that what it's called? Better, Faster, Stronger? No, it's not. It's Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. Whatever. So I've been listening to One More Time, Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, and what's the last one? Around the World. So those 3 I've been listening to the most, and my gosh, they're such cool songs. And I've noticed that their music, at least those 3 songs, at least, they're very repetitive, but they still make it work. I don't know, it's kind of funny. It's just instead of making a long song, having to come up with different verses and different lyrics and all that, it's just you know what, let's just repeat the same verse, the same words over and over again, and it'll work out. And that's what they did, and they made bangers, and they made bank from them. They've been making bank. Yeah, so if you've never heard of the band Daft Punk, DAFT and then space Punk, PUNK, I give them a listen. I give them a listen. Check them out. You really might like it. But so there's that, and so let's move on to the next thing I have on my list, which is my new microphone. Not this. So when I say new microphone, I'm not talking about this new setting I have on my microphone, this podcast. I mean an actual brand new microphone. I bought it off Amazon. Let's talk about it. So a couple weeks ago, I got my Purple Panda lavalier microphone. I spent $30 on it, and what I got was a lavalier microphone. I got a couple pop filters, one big furry one, one big furry fuzzy one, and another little black thing that kind of I think it's like a pop filter, except for it attaches right onto the microphone. What else did I get? I got some wires so you can connect it to your camcorder or your PC or your phone, and that's what I did. I connected it to my phone. and stuff like that. But anyways, I made a video about it, and if you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. It's kind of interesting. And while recording, I'm like, this is like, what is this? Because I was listening to the testing, and it was like a, just while I was recording, and I'm like, what is that? It was just so annoying, and the reason why I got the microphone was because of this new show. I've talked about it, ideas and stuff on my channel before. This new puppet show I want to do, because I want to hold the puppet in my left hand, hold the camera with my right, and have like the lavalier microphone attached to my shirt, and record sound that way instead of using the digital camera, which would be horrible and terrible. But also, yeah, record. I would still record with the digital camera. My phone would be in my pocket, which would be attached to the lavalier microphone. But anyways, it was just so stressful, and there were just different things I was trying, and I don't know. And to be honest with the whole puppet show idea I'm not even sure if I even want to start it. It really depends. I don't know, because it seems like something that could just be cringy on my YouTube channel, or it could, it could really do well, and I really want to give it a try, because one of the time people want to watch it. There's a thumbnail of this weird looking like hedgehog sock looking Muppet looking thing, whatever. I don't know. I feel like it'd be interesting. I don't know like what his name would be yet. I don't know what personality he had. I don't know. And here's the thing: my only problem I have right now really is, I guess, ideas for the show and the microphone. But mainly the microphone. Like if I had my microphone and if it sounded really good, then it's like, hey, I could start, writing down ideas for like different like skits I want to do with the sock puppet. But I don't know what I'm gonna do. Right now I could always just record with the microphone on the internal camera, which would suck. Or I could actually write a script and and then talk into this microphone and then have me lip sync it afterwards with the sock puppet. But I feel like that'd be too difficult. And yeah, I just know. Yeah, I don't want it takes so long to write scripts. It's just like, it's so not necessary, because these skits that I would be doing with the sock puppet, and I'll probably have show pictures of it. Or maybe I'll just show clips from the video that I recorded. I'm just getting worried right now, because I'm realizing that every single time I mention a little something that's like not directly about myself, or that's just plain or whatever. Like if I'm talking about something specific, I'm like, great, I'm gonna have to pull up a picture of it or a video or whatever while in editing. So I don't know, like that is just on the back of my mind right now, and I'm like, oh great, every little thing I mention is gonna have to be edited later. Can't wait. Alright, let's not talk about that. So yeah, that's my new Purple Panda lavalier microphone, which is kind of annoying. I'll probably, I should probably get into looking up how to fix it. I still have like 4 weeks. I still have like into the middle of October before all the Let's Play videos I've recorded and edited and and scheduled and all that, before they all run out, and I'm completely on this new schedule. But yeah, and I'm probably gonna have to get into that sometime this week. I have other things to worry about right now. Like I have to worry about some assignments in school, and this other thing I'm working on, and this podcast I'm gonna have to edit that. So maybe after all that is through with these next few days, I can get into my microphone and I'll see what's up with it. But anyway, so that was that. The next thing I want to talk about, and I guess I'll do this for every show. Maybe not. And actually, I don't even think I did it for the first episode. It's just a little childhood story. So let's talk about a childhood story. I actually didn't have one prepared. I should probably start doing that, whenever I write that down. So, I got a good one. So, back when I lived, so my parents, they're divorced, and my mother, she's lived in different places. back when I lived in Centerville, Ohio, which is it's a city that's east of just east of Miamisburg, which you hear in the intro and all that. So while I lived there, which this was like 2008 to 2011, so it's been a long time now. But anyways, I lived there with my mom. Well, I switched back and forth between my mom and my dad or whatever. I was with my dad most of the time. But anyways, that's just a little bit of context. Anyways, so in this neighborhood that my mom lived in Centerville, there was this park, and I would always go to this park, and it was fun and epic. And I'd go there by myself all the time, and it was wonderful. But when I was 7 years old, I was walking around the park one day, and I was going into like this nearby wooded area. It's not too wooded, There's like grass areas and all that. I think this is just a lot of trees. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a wooded area. But anyways, there was this kid, probably a couple of years younger than me. He was standing on one of those things, it's just like, those like things that like in the ground, they have like a big hole, and if you like, you could like crawl into them or whatever. And usually there's like a ton of water, at like pouring out of it or whatever. You know what I mean? I'll pull up a picture of it, to better, to help you guys.
And girls, excuse me, I didn't mean to say guys, sorry.
Anyways, so there was this kid who was just standing there. I think he was standing. I think he may have been sitting, but I think he was standing. Yeah, I think he was standing. But anyways, this kid probably he's probably like 6 years old. I don't know. He could, I can't really remember it. This was like 10 years ago. So I was like 7, 8 years old, maybe. I'm not quite sure. I think this was 2009, and if that was the case, I would have been 7. But anyways, he was just standing there, minding his own business. He wasn't on his phone. This was before then. Before, everyone was on those. Before all the kids were on those. This is back when we still played outside. People still played outside a lot, even just 10 years ago. But anyways, he was just standing there. And I'm like standing like 20 feet away or something. And I got this idea. I'm like, I'm just going to push him into like the little pond area right here. Like, it wasn't like a pond, but it was like a ton of water, and it was quite deep. I'd probably say it was like maybe a foot deep or whatever, and it was like a 10-foot diameter of like 1 foot deep water. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to push this kid into there, because why not? And this kid, this poor little child, I had no clue who he was. I didn't even know his name. I'd never seen him before in my life. And I got this wonderful idea to just push him. Just push him. And so I walked up behind him, and I shoved him into the freaking little pond area. And he fell in there smack right onto, I think like, not like, I don't remember how he fell in. But he fell in, I think like, he didn't like face plant or anything, or, back plant or whatever. He kind of fell in, and he quickly got up, he was kind of like on his side diagonally a little bit, whatever, as he was getting up. He started crying, and I think he said, "Why did you do that?" I don't know. I don't even know if he saw me. I don't know if I ran away. But I don't know if this is a different incident, when I was younger or not, but I think the parents found out who I was, because I was just still playing outside, whatever, and I was like in the streets, the neighborhood streets or whatever. This was like, I guess I'll pull up a picture of it, but this was a townhouse kind of area with apartments and all that, and there were like streets and all that, it was a really fun neighborhood. I really enjoyed living there. But so I was walking the streets, and the parents, they're like, "Kid, just go home," or whatever, because I don't know why they didn't ask me where I lived, because I probably, because I was like a little child, I was like 7 years old, I probably would have like submitted to them, and I'm like, okay, I live here or whatever. But nope, they're like, just go home, They were like, go away, and they were really upset with me. And I don't remember like being like right. I remember seeing their faces, but I remember like, I don't remember because I don't remember all the details. But like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm talking about something different or not. I think I'm talking about the same incident. But anyways, they were upset with me. I think they were like at a distance and they kind of like shouted at me from like 20, 30 feet away or whatever. And I think it was just like one mother or something, just a mother out. I have no clue. I definitely know there wasn't a father, because if there was, I probably would have been more scared. But anyways, it was just a mother, and she's like, just go home. And I started walking away, and I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to go do whatever I want somewhere else in this neighborhood, play with other friends or whatever. That's so horrible, isn't it? Oh my gosh, I just pushed some poor little child minding his own business into the river, and he got all disgusting and water all over himself. Like, I don't know. And like, there's like something really evil. It's just like, it was like one of those things, you never know like what age it is, when like you can know what is right, what is right and wrong or whatever. But I remember there being something in my head. It's just like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't do this, but I think I'm going to. It's just, it's just like in this, those cartoons. There's like the angel on your right shoulder and the devil on your left or whatever. And that time I decided to listen to the devil or demon or whatever, and I pushed him into the river and to the pond area or whatever, the watery area by the big gray circle thing, cylinder. I don't know what they're called. But yeah, that was a childhood story I shared. That was wonderful. My gosh, I should really start picking it up here. I'm already halfway through this podcast. Good golly. Wow. I talk a lot. Maybe that, I don't know, is that my problem here? Do I just talk too much? I don't know. Sorry, I'm clicking around, just making sure I didn't get a message from my boy Nolan. But anyways, so yeah, that's it for this week's version of a childhood story. The next thing I want to talk about is and I guess this kind of fits into what I just talked about. Something about God. So it's just like, yeah, right decision, right and wrong and all that. So something about God, and here, that's another thing I need to like start writing down, like specifically, before I start the podcast. Like, what about God am I going to talk about? Wow, I'm really like at a loss for words. I'm not quite sure. Oh my goodness. I guess here's something, because last week I think I remember, saying, oh, whatever you're going through, God will help you. I guess this week I'll talk about, like what God looks like or whatever. And I don't think I mentioned it last week. But, so you always see those like versions of God where he's this old man with, I don't remember if I mentioned this or not, but people, and I guess I'll bring up Jesus as well. But people always bring up God as like this old man with like he has like a cane, like a big stick or whatever, like a cane, to walk around with, and he has like a big like big old beard or something with like white hair. It's just like, why does he look like that? Why would God, who's perfect, and holy, why would he look like an old rotting man? I don't get it. Now, I know, I think it's supposed to, resemble like, old people, who look like that, they're very wise, they're really old, they've been through life, they're very wise, what life is all about, and you know what I mean, it's just, he's an old looking guy, and hey, he looks wise, but, I just feel like he shouldn't have like that kind of like physical form, and plus his physical form is Jesus, but, of course, a lot of people don't know that Jesus is God. But I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just, and I think I remember when I was like a little kid in church in Sunday school, we would draw pictures of like God looking like this old man. It's just like I look back on that, and it's just like, oh, why would they do that? It's like the adults know better. Like me, I wasn't comprehending like these kinds of things. I'm just like, okay, picture of God, let's draw it. Because I have to. I don't know what I was doing. But, and so I may have already mentioned something about that last week, but I will say is that something about this week, is, what Jesus looks like. And here's the thing, we actually don't know. We don't know. people always draw him as like this like young man with like a beard and like brown hair. And actually, there's like pictures of him looking like that. I'm looking back on my wall, and he kind of looks like that. And I know that's like a lot of it has to do with like that picture. It was what was it called? The Last Supper. That's what it's called. I can't believe I forgot. I have to think about what it was. Because he kind of looked like how people interpret him to look like today in the Last Supper. Hold on, let me pull up what it looks like. The Last Supper. It's gonna have the there we go. Yeah, here he is. He has like that, the long hair. That's what I forgot to mention. He has the long hair and the beard and all that. We don't know what he looked like either. We don't know what he looks like either. The only thing, because I don't know why there's not like any description of him in the Bible, but basically he looked Jewish. That's what I've been hearing lately. Is this, if you want to think about what Jesus looks like, he looks Jewish. So there you go. I mean, he could have probably looked Middle Eastern, maybe not. This is like thousands of years ago, so who knows if where white people lived at this time. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I mean, he could have been white. He could have been black. To be honest, that'd be very interesting. What I think though, I don't know. I'm just gonna say he looked Jewish. I'm not gonna guess the color. Color doesn't really matter as well. And plus, his new physical form, which, after he rose from the dead, it looks very epic. So, don't worry, if you're worried that you're not going to like the way Jesus looks, because I know that will not be the case. And I just gave 2 thumbs up as I said that. But anyways, so the next little thing I want to talk about is that I am awake all of the time. Except for today, because it's Saturday, and I usually sleep the most on Saturday. Like, I got up at like 2 p.m. today. But other than that, I am awake all of the time. Like, usually on a typical day, during the week usually from Sunday night to Friday or whatever, I'm up, I get up at like 6 in the morning, and I don't go to bed until 2. And it's like that every single day throughout the week. And sometimes, I might, get tired in the evening after school and I'll sleep for a couple hours or whatever. But other than that, I'm awake all of the time. And it's amazing to me how little I get done. Like, it's so weird. Like, think about it. Like, let's say you get home from work at like 4 or something. That's like an average, because I get home at like 2:30. Some people get up at like 5:30. So I'm just going to put it in the middle there and just say 4. And let's say you go to bed at like 11. That's 7 hours. Think of how much you can get done in 1 hour. Me, I finished up working on an essay in like 30 minutes. Well, not as a pre-writing assessment or whatever, but still. And that was quite a bit. What if I did something like that, like every single hour? Sorry, I hit the table. Every single hour, after, school or whatever. Like, it's amazing how little I get done. I just kind of slouch around a lot and just, just sit and do nothing, just watch YouTube, just listen to music as I'm trying to get stuff done. It's like, wow, it seems like you get so much more done in like a 19-hour day or whatever, but that's not how it works. It's just like time goes by so fast, and I guess, minutes are very quick and hours are very quick as well. So I don't know. So that's just something I wanted to mention. Very interesting that, how quick, time goes by, especially these days. I don't know, because it just feels like I could get so much done. Like tonight, I plan to stay up until like 2 a.m., and that's like 4 hours from now. And once I finish recording this podcast, I could start editing, like the first half of this podcast. I could work on other homework. I could do that. I can get all of that done in 4 hours. But I bet I'm going to get like 1/4 of this podcast done. And maybe watch a little bit of other YouTube videos or whatever and get nothing. And that's it. That's all I'll get done in 4 hours. And I don't know. That's just something that's very interesting and amazing to me. It's just, wow. So much to do, so little time. It's kind of like that. Anyways, so moving on to the next thing. So in my sociology class, we watched this interesting video. Of course, everyone, a lot of people were just talking the whole time, and I'm like, ugh. This school year is especially this school year. It's like, this is really like I've really lately I've actually been wanting to like learn. It's so weird. Like I want to learn, but at the same time I don't want to like do assignments against my will. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy learning, but I don't want to like. I don't know. Like if it's against my will, it's just like, oh, I have to do this while watching the video, or whatever. It's just like, now it makes learning boring. Like learning, it really can be fun, but school just. It always finds ways to make it just abominable or whatever. Well, okay, that's kind of changed, especially in high school. Like I feel like, especially this year, senior year, it is still freaking epic. I am like having a blast this year. It is so much fun. But anyways, so in sociology, we were watching this video called Generation Live. It's a video, it's a little outdated, kinda not really. It's from like 4 or 5 years ago. And, they were just talking about like all these different ways, people, get their platform out, and this, people are making videos, there's all kinds of ways, things get marketed to people. And my gosh, just the business is just so evil. It's so wicked and corrupt. Like I'm trying to think of an example. It's been over a week since I've watched it, but because I had it on my list for episode 1. But like I'm trying to think, and I kind of forget now because I haven't like looked it up or anything like that. It's just I don't know. It's just I don't know. Like it's all about money. I guess you could say that it's all about money. It's all about views. That's all. That's what everything's all about. And people don't care about what kinds of people see what. They just want to get money. It's so corrupt. And a lot of it was like Hollywood type of stuff and all that. And it's just a lot of people. Oh yeah, a lot of teens. They're wanting to be famous. There's a lot of people spend their whole time. Yeah. Here's the thing. A lot of people spend their whole time, and this is the main thing I wanted to bring up. So many people, especially young people, they look up the the celebrities, the YouTubers, the companies, the products and stuff like that, but they never think about themselves. Like me, I'm like what? It's just people like. No wonder everyone's so depressed sometimes. It's just like people are all about Beyonce. Like people are just like looking up to Beyonce and stuff like that. It's all about Beyonce. People talk about famous people. It's like, what about yourself? Like me, I don't care about celebrities. I don't care about every single little thing that they're doing. Now I will say I'm a kind of I don't want to be like a hypocrite about it, or no, not a hypocrite, like. Or no, I think, is that the right word? I'm not sure. Because there are some YouTubers where I'm just like, oh, I want to know what's going on in their life. I don't know. And that's probably, and I guess it makes sense, because I watch their videos every single day. So of course I want to know a lot. And so I guess other people that look up to like big like pop celebrities or whatever, I guess they do the same if they're always like listening to their music or watching their, or reading all their tweets or whatever. I don't know. But I don't know. It's all, and here's the thing: the reason why it's called Generation Like is because it's live. Or what? Did I say live? I think it's supposed to be Generation Like. Sorry about that. I don't know. But anyways, it's all about the likes. Doing different stupid things for views. It's just like people are so prideful, and people just work off each other to make money. It's just, I don't know. Well, let me look it up here. Let me see what it's called, because I think it's on YouTube. Generation Like. Yeah, this. Here it is. What? Generation Like full film. Is this it? PBS Frontline 2014 Generation Like. Okay, I think, and here's for Tyra Oakley. Yeah, I think where's it at here on YouTube? I'm looking here. Yeah, here it is. It was posted a month ago, but it was made like 5 years ago, the video. Someone named, Frontline PBS, official, they posted, Generation Like full film, Frontline. So, if you want to see what I'm talking about, you can look there. I'm looking at different images. Oh gosh, there was this like little kid. He's probably like my age, and he's like 13, even though he looks like he's like 9 or something. Good God, this looks so punchable. He's doing all these like weird, inappropriate things, and he lived in Compton. It's just like, oh gosh, I don't like it. I'm clicking because I'm just looking through here, just seeing like little screenshots or whatever of the video. Yeah, it's all about marketing, getting money, merchandise, stuff like that. I don't know. It's just Hollywood and that kind of business and that kind of stuff. It's so evil, and people and all the fans are they're just used for money, because that's what it's all about: money and fame and popularity. So that was interesting. Sorry, I don't know. I kind of forgot everything that I wanted to talk about with that. So sorry that I've already forgotten some of the info, but you can look it up yourself. I already I probably put up a picture of it as well, for you to go look it up. But anyways, the next thing I wanted to talk about, and this is it's kind of like forgotten news already, but it's the Amazon rainforest fires. What's been up with that lately? Like I tried to look at some like articles and stuff like that, but I haven't really seen much. And here's the thing, fires are always burning in the Amazon rainforest. They're always going on. And I actually read something, like an hour ago before, recording, because I was doing a little bit of research before, my podcast. Excuse me.
Sorry, I burped.
Oh gosh, I'm cringeworthy. I read something that's just like 2019 hasn't even been the worst year in recent history, and it was like 2019 has been the worst year for fires in the Amazon rainforest in almost 10 years. Like, wait, why? In almost 10 years? Like, well, wait a minute, what happened in like the early 2010s? Like, I don't know. They're making it seem like it's never been as bad as it is now. I don't know. And I also saw something that Bernie Sanders said. He's like, there will be irreparable damage to our planet if, I'm trying to do a Bernie Sanders impression. Scientists say that in the next 12 years there will be, if we don't change what we are doing to our climate, there will be irreparable damage. Irreparable damage. I don't know what he sounds like. Oh gosh, cringe. I don't know. I don't know. I can't do it. He's a freaking 80-year-old man. I can't impersonate an 80-year-old man. And he doesn't have like that typical like old man voice or whatever. Anyways, but it's like if you're saying that in the next 12 years, if we don't change something, there will be irreparable damage, then don't you think it's already too late? And I'm saying that, because that's what scientists said. Like, scientists are so stupid, in my opinion, sometimes. Or all the time, to be honest. They're smart in so many ways, but at the same time, they're so stupid in so many ways. And that's what I believe. But, like, in the next 12 years, it's just like, we're not going to be able to get anything done. Like, you're not going to get the whole world to stop doing what it's doing to our environment. Like, it's already too late. And to be honest, and I think I said this in episode 1, I'm not really super concerned about the future of this planet. Because of what I believe, the book of Revelations and all that. This world doesn't really have much of a future, And I can get into that another time about end times and stuff like that. And maybe I'll talk about it in episode 4, because I plan to have no one on for episode 3. I could talk about that another time. With this, how the world's gonna end and stuff like that, and yeah, this world's not gonna always exist. So there you go. Sorry if I'm leaving you with just a bunch of questions. And my gosh, I'm already 48 minutes in, and I haven't even talked about the main stuff I wanted to talk about. Good gosh. So let's move on. So let's talk about my trip to Dayton. And I could, I could always make this an hour and a half long podcast. Should I do it? Should I just keep talking until I get through everything I want to talk about? You know what? I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You know what? I'm going to do it. Let's make this podcast longer. So the next thing I want to talk about is my trip to Dayton. So on September the 5th, I think, of 2000... Yeah, of this year. It's not some past year or whatever. So on September 5th, it's been a couple weeks now, a few weeks. I went on a trip to Dayton, Ohio, specifically the Oregon District. And I actually made a couple of videos showing off like different pictures I took in the Oregon District and Woodland Cemetery and all that. But so I guess I just wanted to talk about my trip, there and how it was and how fun it was. So this trip we took to Dayton, it was a photography trip for my Tech Prep Media Arts 2 class. And basically, we had this like assignment, just take like a low shot and a high shot and a bird's eye view shot and in a frame within a frame shot, different shots, we had to take. That was like our assignment and stuff like that. And basically, when we got back from our trip, we were going to have someone, they were going to review our 5 favorite pictures, and they were going to take that picture and put it up on the wall for the school to see or for people when they walk by. And that's what they did. We've already done this, weeks ago now. But anyways, that's what the trip was all about. So we got to the Oregon District, and the reason, and that might sound familiar to you all. You're like, wait a minute, the Oregon District, why does that sound so familiar? That is because this is exactly where the Dayton shooting took place at the beginning of last month on October, I am messing stuff up, on August 4th. But, so we went on the bus trip. We drove like down the street from where the shooting took place, like 100 feet from, like down the street from where the, where it all went down. And, we got some directions on the bus before we came off, stick with a certain group of people or whatever, have like a partner, never be alone, whatever, even though there's like no one around. No one dangerous is around. But, sorry I keep saying but, I also realized in the last episode that I'm always saying like, and but, and stuff like that. Like, I'm working on my talking and my speaking skills. I'm trying to lessen that kind of speech and just, I don't know, just keep talking and, instead of just like saying like, just think in my head, it's like, it's all right for me to be silent a little bit during this podcast. Anyways, I almost said, but, so we got off the bus, we were taking pictures around and stuff like that, and we were all walking up the street, and this was kind of disrespectful in my opinion. I'm not quite sure, but a lot of people, they went right to Ned Pepper's, which was where the shooting took place, and everyone they almost like went there immediately, and they were taking tons of pictures there. It's just like, wait a minute, hold on. I could, it's just like, wait a minute, we can get to that in a little bit. Why don't we just take pictures of this upcoming stuff first instead of just, skipping this whole block and going right down there, So I thought that was just kind of weird and kind of like, ugh, when, I was there, but whatever, I'm not surprised. And I eventually did go there myself, and I took tons of pictures of like bullet holes, where bullets like went through into the wall. Like seriously, there were some there, and it was quite crazy. And I took a picture of the ground where the shooter was killed. And there was this like Dayton Strong stuff up and everywhere and stuff like that. Anyways, so we were just taking pictures on that street. I think it's like 5th Street. That's what it's called, I think. We also went to nearby neighborhoods, and we were getting like environmental shots and stuff like that. And that was a ton of fun. We were just taking tons of pictures. And actually, a lot of people brought their phones because they have the good new iPhone 10, or actually, now it's iPhone 11. Oh, I wanted to talk about that, the new design, but my gosh, I really could split these two episodes up, because I also really want to talk about Area 51 as well. And to be honest, there's not a whole lot of people watching this podcast, right now at the moment, because it's early on. So I think I will, make this podcast an hour long. But anyways, so Oh yeah, so we were just taking tons of pictures. While people had their phones and stuff like that, I had like one of the professional school cameras. And honestly, I thought this photography trip would be kind of boring or whatever. Well, not boring, but not like super fun as, it turned out to be. But when I was taking pictures, I was having a ton of fun. I was like, wow, look at this shot. Look at this shot. Oh, this looks nice. Or, oh, I can zoom in and get a nice picture of that. Like, it was just a ton of fun. Taking all sorts of cool pictures and stuff like that. But anyways, for about an hour, we were just taking a bunch of pictures in the Oregon District. And then we took a group photo or whatever. And then we got onto the bus, and we drove to another part of downtown Dayton. Well, not downtown, just somewhere in Dayton. There was like graffiti up on the wall. It was just somewhere on the the outer part of Dayton. But we stopped there for like 5 minutes, and we were taking pictures, and then we got back on the bus. And then we went to Woodland Cemetery, which is this giant cemetery where like the Wright brothers are buried, and some other famous person. He was like a famous like black poet or something. I'm not sure. He's buried there as well. But anyways, this cemetery, it was massive. And me and my partner in crime, Emmanuel Gonzalez, we were just walking around taking more pictures and stuff like there. And yeah, it was a ton. Well, I'm not saying, oh wow, walking around the cemetery is so much fun, but it was interesting, I guess you could say, just to take tons of pictures, or in the cemetery and just walk around and have a little bit of freedom. There was actually this moment of time where I had my camera stuck on like manual mode or whatever. Because my friend Emmanuel, his name is Emmanuel, and he had me set the manual mode. Okay, whatever. Anyways, he switched it there because he's really good with photography and stuff like that. But me being the unintelligent person I am, I didn't know how to take pictures, in that kind of mode. So I went up to the teacher, and I'm like, Mister, and I'm like, help me. I don't know. I wasn't like that. But anyways, I'm like, hey, can you help me with something? Like the pictures, they're really dark. And he just switched to automatic mode. And I'm like, well, thanks. And it was all beautiful again. And I'll probably, I probably won't leave links. Or maybe I will. I don't know. If I remember, I'll leave links to those 2 videos I made. And if not, you can just go onto my YouTube channel and look up, like, pictures I took in or whatever, like on the search page, on the search thing on my YouTube channel, and you can find the videos. Like, just look up Oregon District and, Woodland Cemetery on my YouTube channel, and you'll find the videos if you want to, see more about it. And I think I talked about a little bit of, like, backstory and all that, a little bit in those 2 videos as well. But anyways, so after a while of taking pictures in the Woodland Cemetery, there were a couple things I could talk about, involving Woodland Cemetery. Like, there was this one gravestone that had like a dog and a boy, like kind of like statue or whatever. And there's like some backstory to it, and like in the real life story, both the dog and the boy died, but in like the fictional one or whatever, or like the myth, or like the I don't know, whatever. It's just like it's like the dog died, but he did save the boy. It's like, nope, in real life they both died. It's like, well, that's sad. I'm not depressed. And that was like at the very end of like me being in Woodland Cemetery. I'm like, well, that was a interesting ending to this trip to Woodland Cemetery. But anyways, after that, and this is the big thing I want to talk about. So after that, we went to go eat on the street. I'll probably pull a picture up of it or whatever. This was like the street, there was like different restaurants and places to go up and down the street. And I just had to go to Burger King. And I spent $16 at Burger King. 16. And it ain't like an expensive Burger King, like in a populated area. Like, this is just like any other Burger King you go to. Like, I probably got like 2,000 calories worth of food there. Like, I got like this giant 700 calorie chicken sandwich. I got like this like Hershey pie or whatever. I got this chocolate shake thing or whatever. I got like 20 nuggets. I got medium fries. I got a ton of stuff. I got like honey mustard too. I ate so much, and I was so full. I actually had to get some like water while I was eating. and just leave my food on the table. And I'm like, oh, I'm in Dayton. Hope no one steals it. But so I got some water, and actually I couldn't even start eating the sandwich yet until like a little bit after I left the restaurant. We were just hanging out, in this nearby area, in that food district area, still like behind the restaurant somewhere. And over time, over like the next like 30 something minutes or whatever, I ended up finishing the sandwich as well. But I was so full, I did not eat for the rest of that day. Holy moly. But it was delicious. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so yeah, that was $16 spent. And everyone was like, well, you spent $16 at Burger King? What the heck? Like, Daniel, you're crazy. But yeah, I did. And actually, I ate that spicy chicken sandwich with no water. Oh wait, no, it wasn't water. I actually kind of took a little sip from Emmanuel's drink, and he's like, dude, why didn't you even ask? And I'm like, I was thirsty. My mouth is burning. I just had a big old spicy chicken sandwich. He's just like, he's like, you know what, you can have the rest. Like, he wasn't like mad or anything, but he was just like, why, Daniel, why would you do that? He's kind of like that. He's just like, oh my gosh, it was kind of like that. But I'm like, yippee, and I drank the rest. So yeah, that was my trip to Dayton. It was a ton of fun. We got on the bus, we went back to school, and we just kind of hanged out in our classroom together until the end of the school day. And yeah, that was a fun trip. That was 16 days ago on September 5th. That was Thursday. That was on a Thursday. But if you look here, we are at the 1 hour mark, and that means it's time for this podcast to close. When we mention the things I didn't get to, and I'll talk about next week or the week after. So the few things I still wanted to talk about is PewDiePie's play button breaking, because I thought it was just super funny. Ocean Man parody music video that I made with Emmanuel. He's my reason why I'm bringing up his name a lot is it's Media Arts. We made that Ocean Man parody music video in Media Arts. This trip we took to Dayton was in Media Arts. That's why I keep bringing up his name. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Area 51, which will probably take up a huge chunk of whatever podcast that will be featured on. And yeah, those are 3 things I didn't get to, but those are like big things I could be talking about for like the next like hour still. But anyways, so the question I want to bring up at the end is what's something? Because last week I talked to you guys. I'm like, what did you think about the podcast? That was last week. Like what'd you like, what'd you dislike, whatever. I guess I'll bring up 2 questions for this week. One is, did you think anything in this podcast improved from the last one? Any like visual stuff, like anything of me speaking? Do you think I got worse than I did last week and stuff like that? Did I improve or did I get worse? I already mentioned it, but just stuff like that. What was better, what was worse, what was the same, whatever. And another question I have is since I was talking about Burger King a lot and stuff like that, I guess my question for you all this week is, what is your favorite fast food restaurant? Mine is McDonald's, because McDonald's is freaking epic. Even though whenever I go eat there, I'm like, never again. Never again. But then like 3 hours later, I'm like, I want McDonald's. McDonald's. Oh gosh. But yeah. Yeah, so what's your favorite fast food restaurant? And yeah. That was episode 2 of the Daniel J. Robinson Show. And for the conclusion, I forgot what I should say. My gosh. I cannot speak English. I don't know what's wrong with me. What was that? That sounded so weird. Why can't I not speak clear English? Why? Why can't I just speak like a normal human being? I don't know, like no one ever mentions it. Like I used to always think that I sounded like so amazing when I was younger, but then people would always be like, teachers especially, they'd be like, you're mumbling. And not the kids, they'd be like, you're mumbling, like speak up, and my parents too. But now I think I'm like messing up my words and stuff like that. But no one ever brings up like how I mumble. Like that makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like, why am I always like the crazy one here? I don't know. But I guess I'll wrap it up here. Thank you so much if you made it this far in watching the Daniel J. Robinson show. Next week I'll try to get Nolan Rich on the show, aka Popcorn Weasel, whatever he wants to be called. That'll be a ton of fun. I wish I could have done that today or yesterday or whatever, but just didn't turn out. He's probably busy doing other stuff, or he just forgot. Whatever. Anyways, God bless you, and as always, thanks for watching. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share.